a telling from the book of Exodus. Now a new king arose in Egypt who didn't know Joseph. And he said to his people, "These Israelites, they're becoming more numerous and more powerful than we. Let us deal shrewdly with them, otherwise they will increase. And in the event of war, they may join with our enemies and fight against us and then escape from our land." Therefore, taskmasters were put over them to oppress them with hard labour. They built the store cities of Pithom and Ramesses for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread, so that the Egyptians began to dread the Israelites. And the Egyptians became ruthless at the tasks that they imposed on the Israelites, causing them to do hard service with mortar and bricks and all kinds of field work. And the Egyptians were ruthless with all the tasks that they imposed on the Israelites. And the king of Egypt said to the midwives of the Hebrews, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, he said, "When you go to act as midwives for the Hebrew women, and you see that they are on the birth stool, if the child is a boy, kill him. But if she is a girl, let her live." But the midwives feared God, and they didn't do what the king of Egypt told them, and they let the boys live. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and said to them, "Why have you done this? And let the boys live." But the midwives said to Pharaoh, "Oh, well, the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian, but they are vigorous, and they give birth before the midwife can come to them." Therefore, God dealt well with them, and the people grew stronger. And because the midwives feared God, God dealt well with them, and they were granted families. But Pharaoh said to all of his people, "If a child born to any Hebrew woman is a boy, you must throw him in the Nile. But if it's a girl, you can let every girl live." Now, a man from the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. And when she saw that he was a fine boy, she hid him for 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she took a papyrus basket for him and plastered it with bitumen and pitch. And she placed him in it. And placed the basket among the reeds on the banks of the river. His sister stood by at a distance to watch what happened to him. Now the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe in the river while her attendants walked along the banks of the river. And she saw the basket in the reeds and sent one of her maids to bring it. When she opened it, she saw the baby. And he was crying, and she took pity on him. And then she said, "This must be one of the Hebrew babies." And his sister came and said to her, Shall I bring a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse him for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said, "Yes." So the girl went and brought the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take the child and nurse him for me, and I will pay your wages." So she took him and nursed him. And when he had grown up, she took him back to Pharaoh's daughter, and Pharaoh's daughter took him as her son. And she named him Moses, for she said, I have drawn him out of the water. In this is the word of the Lord.